What's going on today, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I know I am, because we got some new parts in the mail and we're going to be working on this thing, finishing up and getting things ready for winter. Unfortunately, I might not be able to take it out this year because it's getting cold out there, but we got the part. We need to fix the broken part that's in there. So let's go ahead and install this new Waterbox by JetManiac Waterbox in this bad boy, and let's get it ripping and ready for next year. Good thing that it's nice and full that I got to take the tank out. So I went and filled it all the way up. Now we'll take that out, simple clip, pull that out, and then we just drain the tank into a jug to make this lighter and easier to pull out. So it's all the way over the fill nozzle. So let's go ahead and take that out. So with the fuel all out of the way, what we have left is basically the two straps holding it on. Our fuel hoses, which will come off of the fuel tank, two straps, and then the filler neck needs to come off. And then once we get to that, we need to get all the way to the front up here to the water box, which is sitting way down in there. You can kind of see it in the corner, but we'll take the fuel cell out. We got most of the fuel drain out of it, but let's get this out of the way, and then we'll get to work on getting the rest of it. I probably actually need to take my battery out and then get that thing out of the way so this whole fuel cell can come out. We'll see if we need to take it out or not, but right now the goal is get those straps off, and then this fuel neck. I 100% have to remove the battery. That thing's not coming out, so let's go ahead and get that battery out of there. So now that we got the fuel cell out, you can see this is your filler neck, and then this is the top where your fuel goes to the engine. Your on and your reserve come through here, but there's nothing else connected to it other than these two vent tubes. And just as long as you make sure you got your fuel well below your fill neck, it'll be fine. It likes to sit a little bit towards the fuel neck when you set it on the ground or something. So just a little bit below it, set it on the ground, and now we can see what we're working with here. We've got our water box right there, hose, exhaust, downpipe, header pipe exhaust. So this comes from the hot air to the water box and then out the ski. So we got to take this one off, another two straps, another two hose clamps, and that thing should pop out of there. So these clips just kind of push down and come out, both of them. Easier said than done. Got them. And then the hose clamps. There's one way up on the top there, and also one over here. So let's get those out. Now it's just going to make the whole process easier, so we'll just remove this left side hose all the way from the actual bread box here. We'll pull that out, and that makes a lot more room. Plus this one's super hard to work with, so we got both of those off. Slip that out. Those two off. Got the hose off the top, which is easier said than done. It pushes that way. And now the joyous task of trying to get it over these little nubbins right here. It sounds easy. It wouldn't be too bad if we took the filler neck off, but I really don't care to take that off right now. So we'll try to just get this thing out and just work on it however we can to get this guy out of here. Now, something to be aware of. I learned this on my first attempt. This is my second attempt. The water box, it's called the water box for a reason. It's full of water. So luckily I drained everything out, most of it out, but it's full of water. So here's our old water box. So there they are. There's the two. Here's the OEM old one, and here's our new JetManiac one, and you can tell that there's a definite difference in weight. Now this has some water in it, so to be fair, Does have some water in it, but definitely a weight savings. It's going to sound a little bit better, and also, I don't know why, but you can kind of see this seal right here was leaking. All that's from this seal leaking. I cleaned it off the best I could, but it's not sealed up quite properly. It's getting too much back pressure or something, just causing it to leak. So we're gonna go ahead, get rid of this number. I need to steal those little mats off the bottom of it, and go ahead and start installing this new one. Now the neck doesn't look quite the same. It's pretty close. Pretty close. They're not quite exactly the same, so we might have to do some trimming, but for right now, let's go ahead, see how this fits in there. I might need to steal the mats off, and we'll go from there. Well, the fit in there is dialed. It definitely has a spot where it wants to sit. It's perfectly caved to the bottom of the hole. It doesn't want to move, but one thing now that I've got going on is this strap now needs to be significantly shorter, and this one the same. So now I need to figure out a way to tighten those up and still keep these on here, because we don't want this box to be slamming around in the hole. So I think I've come up with a good plan on how to attack putting this thing in and keeping it from rubbing a hole through the hole. So if you look on the bottom, there's welds, and the welds kind of stick out just a little bit. They're not bad, but it definitely sticks out a little bit. That's a pressure point. If everything's moving around in there and rattling, that's just going to wear a hole. So what I've come up with, I've got a little piece of turf, extra turf from another project. I'm going to go ahead, put that in. I could take the pads off, which would be what 90% of you are probably going to do, which is totally acceptable plan. But last time I was in here, I was super efficient and made sure that they weren't coming off and glued the heck out of them. So they're not coming off, and now I need them to come off, and they're not. So we're going to go a different route, do the HydroTurf, the pads be perfectly acceptable, just a little dab of glue maybe next time, not a whole bunch of glue. But let's go ahead, let's put some turf on the bottom. I want to hide it, so I won't do a whole bunch, but there will be a little bit of turf, and we'll use that turf as a about a quarter inch cushion on the bottom. And it's got sticky on one side, and it's waterproof. So checking all the boxes. So there we go. We've got our turf on the bottom. I've gone ahead and just done the whole bottom. If I had the two black pads, I'd put them on the sides right here. Cut them probably to make them fit a little bit better, but turf, everybody's got a little bit of turf hanging around. Now, no one will ever see it, so it doesn't really matter what color it is. Plus, it's back behind the gas tank, so really no one's going to see it. Go ahead, put this in, but then we've got our next problem, which is how are we going to get those bungees to get enough tension in them now? Because this is significantly smaller than the stock one. So let's go ahead and figure that now. New problem's out. I think I've got the perfect solution for this. Now I just happened upon it kind of by accident. I wanted to tie a knot in this to make it shorter, right? Tie a knot and that'll make it effectively shorter, but it's also going to kind of weaken it. It's going to cause stress points on the sides. So I think what I'm going to do is I've actually gone ahead, taken this through, turned it just gently sideways, put it through, and then put some zip ties on here to keep it from unraveling and putting too much tension on this joint sideways. So the zip ties are sitting right here. So the zip ties are on the side. They're going to hold the two going vertical, to hold those two together as best they can and relieve some of the stress of the coil coming off of it. So let's go ahead. I've gone ahead. I've already started to do this one. Make sure I do it on the right side. Do it on the back side because then it'll hide everything. On the front side you'll see it. On the back side it's going to hide it behind everything. So let's go ahead, put it on the back side, and yeah, get this thing installed. You can go this way. So there is a longer side and a shorter side. The shorter side is the one that's in the back. It's the highest, and then the front is the lowest for the mounting point. So the front's your long one. It'll actually go in there, I guess, like this. So the front's your long one, the short's your back one. I want the front one to kind of be how it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the back one, and the natural way that it's going, go through, turn it sideways, diagonal, goes right on through, and then pull it kind of tight. You want some tension, but not a whole bunch of tension pulling on this down, because you could really coil it and it will bend this one down a bunch. But if you uncoil it, now I want to lock these two together. So we'll just take a zip tie, actually two, and go ahead, tighten that on there. Make sure the zip ties are really tight, because you want the zip ties to be holding most of the tension and keeping it off that 90, because it's just going to wear and break. So preventative maintenance, right? Okay, both of those are nice and tight now. Snip the ends. Now let's go ahead and try to install this. So you're gonna have to install the back side first. Let's go ahead and put the coiled side back. Make sure that the angle is facing down. Go ahead through the back, down around the hook, give it a little gentle tug, make sure that it's in there. Both of them are in. And now I've found that the box is actually easiest to go under the bread box side and then around the corner. So go in, put our straps up. So there we go. We've got now our box installed. So now that the box is kind of installed, let's go ahead and pull the bungees. They're a little bit tighter now. We'll go ahead and pull those over and lock them both in. So after looking at this thing, I don't like how this strap, you can see the center of it is right on the edge here. So it wants to pull this side down. If I actually tighten it, it's off to the side. I'm afraid if I put this one on, it's just going to scoot everything this way and rotate it, which I don't want. There's one in the center that's holding it down. It's got plenty of holding power on it. So I'm going to take this one off and run a single one. The other one is I have an adverse effect with my hoses now. Actually, these are my cables. Excuse me, wires. My wires are now not long enough to go behind it, which isn't the end of the world, but I did want a kind of a seamless hidden system. It's still kind of hidden. I might tuck them up, or maybe I can do something different, but we'll see. We'll play with it for a second and go from there. But yeah, I'm taking this one off. This one's going to hurt me more than help me. So let's go ahead, take that off, and then get the other hoses hooked up. There we go. That thing is nice and snug in there. The hoses help hold it in. This one probably needs trim just a little bit to make this 90 better, but overall, it's held in there nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. I'm not afraid of it falling off, except for this hose clamp. And yeah, now let's put everything back together. Let's get our fuel cell in here. Let's put these two straps in. Our shorter strap goes on this side, and then our longer strap goes on this side. Awesome. So now let's get this fuel cell back in here. Fuel cell's in. We've got one side already attached. We've got our hose clamp on to hold it in. Now we got to go ahead and get the other side, but we need the battery tray in order to do that. So let's get our battery tray installed here. It's got a hook on the side of the battery tray that hooks onto. Go ahead, get that down in. Last but not least, let's put the last hose clamp on for the fuel. And then we're done. Ready to get this thing a little test run here. Well, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed making it. I enjoy the challenge of finding new ways to do things and changing things up to make it my own. Be different, be better, right? So, if you guys stayed this long, I'd like to personally thank you guys. It means a lot to me that you guys are hanging out and watching the videos till the very end. So, thank you guys. You guys are the true MVPs. I appreciate every one of you. Every one of you guys. So, again, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. If you could, leave a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy the rest of mine. We're going to get some fun clips on this thing now. And I'm going to get out of here. Take it easy, everyone. Peace. New problems out.